All right. Given the fact that we now know that JDSU is extended, it's far away from the 20, and a pullback is imminent, I'm going to look to sell calls on JDSU. I am going to sell 12 and a halves and perhaps $15 calls, right? Calls with a strike of 12 and a half, $15, with the idea that the stock is going to pull back and the premium built into those calls is going to shrink. When the stock actually pulls back and gives me a nice entry scenario, all right, I'm going to eliminate those options and actually sell puts when I'm intending to buy. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with options and various option strategies, you're going to learn a very, very unique way of using options with your long-term wealth plays to pull out as much as an extra 33%, an extra third on top of the profits we will have from strictly playing the stock in an ABC type fashion. Now notice that when I talked about adding the options component, which is the turbo profit methodology, I call it. When I kick my profit strategy into turbo gear, I add the sale of options to the overall play. When a stock moves far away from the 20, I sell either covered calls if I own the stock. If I don't own it, I'm going to sell naked, I'm going to sell naked calls on the stock. And those of you who can't sell naked in your stock, then you would only be able to sell covered calls once you get long the stock and the stock runs far away from its key moving average. But either way, on moves away from the key moving average, I'm going to sell calls. On pullbacks and key entry opportunities on those pullbacks, not only will I buy the stock, but I will also sell puts. And a lot of people say, well, Oliver, if you sell the puts on the pullback, all right, you're actually betting. When you sell puts, you're betting that the stock is going to go up. So on a pullback in a nice entry event, if I buy JDSU and sell, let's say, the 7.5 puts, what do I care if the stock drops below 7.5 and the stock gets put to me at 7.5? That's perfectly fine because I want JDS Uniphase anyway. I want more of JDS Uniphase. I want to gradually build a nice sizable position in JDS Uniphase. So what does it matter in the grand scheme of things if I actually do get the stock put to me? Now get this, the premium I collect from selling the put on my entry, the premium I collect reduces my average cost in JDS Uniphase. Now, if this seems a bit too sophisticated, all I ask is that you allow me to use JDSU to walk you through each one of these steps, right? The idea behind the Velez Opportunity Report is to pierce the veil, to allow you to lift the curtain and to enter into my world and how I personally play stocks over the long term for maximum profitability. And I believe that there's no better way to learn how a sophisticated market player handles himself in the market than by sitting down, figuratively sitting down next to him and watching his every single move in a single play from start to finish. There's no better way than watching someone do what they do well. All right? You can read about it all you want to. You can hear about it all you want to, but there's nothing more superior than living each step, step by step, with the individual doing what he does well. So, once again, what we're going to do with JDS Uniphase is I am going to sell the 12, I'm going to look at the 12 and a half calls and the 15 calls, and I'm going to sell either both of them, or I'm going to sell one of those. I'm going to collect the premium on the calls with the idea that that premium is going to shrink. I'm going to cover those calls when it is time to enter JDS Uniphase on the long side after a pullback. In addition to covering those calls, I'm going to buy some shares of JDS Uniphase, and at the same time, I'm going to sell perhaps the $8 or $7.50 puts, right? So I will collect premium on the calls, I will collect premium on the puts, and I will buy JDS Uniphase on the pullback. I want you to watch me very closely over the next several days to the next several weeks with JDS Uniphase. Watch how I turn JDSU into a wealth building play. This is Oliver Velez signing out. Until next time.